Good morning everyone. I'm back to just show you the latest project that I've been working on. It's a personal swap I entered into with Elena. Elena lives over in Madrid, so a long way away from me. I've had an absolute ball, Elena, creating all of this for you and getting to know you. I have found a brand new friend in Elena, and she's just a beautiful lady, so thank you for your friendship, Elena. So I've been showing glimpses of all of this on Junk Journal Junkies and Junk Journal Junkies Down Under and Instagram over the last probably couple of months now. So this is all of the projects I've made for Elena, all in one hit now. So I've made her a journal. I probably should move some of this. And we have 3 altered items full of goodies. Now Elena's birthday was in March, so I have a birthday present for Elena in amongst all of this as well. So what we might do is I will go through all of these things separately, and then I'll do a flip through of the journal at the end. Now this is also my design team project for A Tattered Dream as well. So in total, I've used roughly about 23 items from the shop. And I have to give thanks for inspiration in styling for all of these creations. So my people of go-to for inspiration always is the adorable Miss Angie, Denise, from A Tattered Dream on Etsy, or Practice Makes Pretty on YouTube, dear Karen O'Reilly from Bohemian Crafting, Anne Laity from Hummingbird Tales on YouTube, and the gorgeous Suzy from the Shabby Soul. And there's also a hint of inspiration from Mooney from the Paper Addiction. I will point out all the digital kits that I can remember along the way. I've tried to make notes because I've been working on this since December, January. So it's taken me that long, having gone back to work, to put all this together. So I will do my best to remember everything. I think I've got enough notes to get us through. So let's get into it. Otherwise, we will be here forever. Now, the altered file folder here, the inspiration is from Angie, and also huge from Denise. So the items in the shop from A Tattered Dream on here is the round metal tags here, the doily, which is the 6-inch white French ones. We have the gold, let me find my notes, tinsel fringe, and also the pink luscious yarn, and the bulb pin. Sorry, I'm not trying to think I was in view then. The digital print is actually from Artie Mays. It is the, let me think, the Victorian Beauties collection. So it's from here. This is just one of the pages I've printed off. And sorry for the zoom, because I don't know how to use this new camera. So we'll have to make do. Okay, so the styling of this is a Denise styling. And that's just one of my stamps. Friends are a true gift. So just got some cheesecloth underneath some lace. The paper I used, I believe, was let's see, it's probably up here somewhere. Should have had that organised, shouldn't I? It's one of my new pads. I believe it is the Prima, the Vintage Emporium paper pad that I've taken that background paper from that pad. Oh, if you can get your hands on it, it is to die for. I think I might have to get myself another one because I just, oh God, I love it. So that's the altered file folder, and it is loaded with trims and laces from my stash that I'm sharing with Elena. I won't go through all of it, but it's just a whole heap of bits and pieces in here because otherwise I have to put it all back in there. Just a bit of a doily lace trim there. And inside the glassine bag, which is also from A Tattered Dream, and the little doily is from A Tattered Dream as well, so that's the 4-inch one. And the glassine bag, I believe this one is the 3 3/4 by 6 1/4 glassine bag. I can't open it because I've stapled it, but I've just filled it with little bits and pieces of buttons, pearl trims, bulb pins, charm bits from, I think there were some ones I had left over from Prima. So just all little bits and pieces. I'm sure Elena will show you when she opens it. So that's one of the items for Elena. So move that aside. And then we have this one here. So this part here, I got the inspiration from Mooney. So I've popped the large 8-inch round intricate doily on the background. It's just a music sheet and a tag that I made from the paper collection I actually bought from Michelle. I bought one of her music sheet and ephemera packs. And that's just some sewing paper, and I cut out a heart from some of the paper from the tag, and that's just from my stash, and I just sewed straight down the middle, just some seam binding and a bit of leftover crochet trim on there, and just a little bit of a clip there. And this waxed glassine bag is also from A Tattered Dream, and inside here I have gifted to Elena some checks. These I had a big lot of checks sent to me by Ebba Ashton. Some of you might know her as Auntie Trizza. So thank you. I'm going to share some with a nice sweet friend. I've got plenty left, so they're for her. We've got some vintage ephemera here. So there's that one there. There's that one. There's that one, that's dated 1870, 1884, 1882. I stained these and you know the stain ran from the red on there. And this one is from 1895. Okay, so there's that. This is some of the stuff from Michelle Mooney that I purchased. So Elena, these are for you. Just some book pages, music sheet. Not sure what language that is, but it's nothing that I can read and recognise. So that's for you. And then I've also purchased from Etsy. Where is it from? It's called Stupid Flamingo. Nice name, isn't it? Gave me a crack up. Anyway, so this store had ephemera in it that was Spanish, I believe. That's what I think I've bought. So Elena, I am sharing the ephemera that I've bought that I'm hoping is in your language and you'll understand it. So that's a book page there. There's just like a ledger sheet. Another book page. This looks like a dictionary page. I hope there's no swear words on here, so excuse me. We have an invoice here that's not got any dates or anything on it, so I'm not too sure. Then we have a bit of a ledger sheet here, and some more ledger or time, I don't know. but that's for you. And it's all sitting in this here. Isn't that gorgeous? And these are all the originals, Elena, that I've given you. I haven't scanned them and kept them or anything, so they're just for you. There's plenty left over for me. So that's all held together with the Tim Holtz paperclip. And Elena, I have sent you some fabric I purchased not that long ago, and some in blue. So that's all for you. And then there is just a little bit of a thin linen in a neutral tone for you to play with. Okay, so that all goes in here. Sorry if you can hear me sniffling. Just can't shake this at the moment. My nose keeps running. Okay, so that's that one. And this is Eleanor's birthday present. So everything in here I have purchased. So I've made you a little decorated paperclip or altered paperclip there. There's that one. The background print there is from Everything Fanara, and I've laid it with one of the intricate lace doilies from A Tattered Dream. The pom-pom trim is A Tattered Dream as well, and everything else is from my stash. Now I think from memory this is the inspiration from Tina from Hummingbird Tales. The digi print is from Artie Mays, from the little beautiful children print that I showed you before. So it's just got laces and fibres and some lace, a bit of an applique from my stash. My little sister makes tutus for ballerinas, and I'm sort of occasionally lucky enough to grab some of her offcuts, and that's off of one of the pieces of material from her offcuts. So in here, oh, and the bag is actually from A Tattered Dream as well. It's one of the white merchandise, what do we call them? White craft envelopes. And I just coffee stained it. So these are some Prima flowers for Elena. Another pack. So I bought all of these as one. So I've got a thing for blue at the moment. So Elena, I hope you like blue. And just some little hooks from Chrissiecrosser, some little case handles. So that is your birthday present in there, Elena. And I believe now we are up to the journal. Okay, so the journal is inside this little bag here. It's the first time I've made one of these. So it's just a piece of vintage doily, and I folded it up to make a little bag, and I've sewn along the side. I've sewn a mother of pearl button on, so it just hooks into the trim that's around the outside. The flower is from actually Chrissie's Attic on Etsy. I did not make this one, so that one's a purchased one, and I added all of the lace from my stash. The lace, all of this here, I purchased from Julie Duncan from Bears and Lace, and the pearls are from A Tattered Dream, and so is this little fibre here from A Tattered Dream as well. I will put all the links to all the shops that I purchased things from into the description box down below. So this is her journal. Okay, let's try and move this along. We're 14 minutes, only 15 minutes in. All right, so I've made her a traveller's notebook journal. sari, not the sari silk, seam binding for the closure that I've just threaded through the doily. So the doily's not actually fixed to the journal, so you can take that off and use it for another project, Elena. It's not fastened on at all, it's just held on with the seam binding. So, and the seam binding just runs through the stitching on the Traveller's Notebook. So if you can see what I've done there, I've just fed it through to hold it in. Okay, so let's have a look. So that's the front cover. Try and keep this out so it doesn't get in the way. And I've just laid it on some corrugated cardboard, whitewashed it, got cheesecloth behind it, a little medallion there that says Friends. That's one of the Prima flowers that I just showed you. So I did have a collection for myself as well. And that is the journal. Sorry, Elena, I couldn't help myself, and it just got fatter and fatter and fatter. So let's go and have a look. The inspiration for putting this journal together is from Karen O'Reilly. I've taken a lot of inspiration from the TN that she made me to put this together, and there's also Suzy from the Shabby Soul in here as well. So we have a piece of ephemera here, and I've just layered some lace, some seam binding and cheesecloth onto that, and that just sits in the pocket here. So the pocket was made out of an old doily that I cut up, and then I've layered some lace and some, I'm not too sure exactly what you call this stuff, but it's like an eyelet trim. And on this side is another fabric pocket. The pearls across here are from A Tattered Dream as well. And then I've got a library card from A Tattered Dream. The little mini glassine bag from A Tattered Dream. And we have the vocabulary cards, and I can't remember what language this one is. So if anyone knows what language that is, that's those. Alrighty. And then this is just one of the Tim Holtz, what do you call these things? Or what are they? The tokens. The Tim Holtz tokens, and it just says excellence. So I put it on there because it's E for Elena. And that sits in that pocket. And then we have one of the French doilies on here, so the 6-inch French doilies, and I just did a bit of decoupaging on there. It's just some vellum that I printed on. Some writing space, crochet trim tab, and I've made you some little dangles on the ends of those as well. And we have some music sheet here, and as I said, Elena's birthday was in March. So the music sheet says Little March. And just have some more writing space here. Crochet tab with the button. This, I believe, is your Tim Holtz paper. This is a Karen O'Reilly inspiration here with the flip up. The pom-pom trim is from A Tattered Dream, so you can journal underneath there. So I just stamped these images onto paper. I've got no idea how to print on fabric and don't intend on clogging up my printer at this stage. So they're all just sewn on individually. And this is a flip out. We've got some decoupaging on there, and sewing and some stamping, some lace trim, and just a piece of ephemera. These are from Tsunami Rose. Okay, now we have one of the white craft sacks in the middle here. These print-offs are from Chikuna on Etsy. I had a look at her store after I saw one of Tracy Fox's videos with some print-offs. And so I purchased those from her store, and it's just layered there, and there's journaling space on the back. And we have just paper clip with some gauze on it. It's been coffee stained. So the music sheet there, and then inside here I've just got a heap of ephemera. So there's that one there, and that one there, and this is some more of the Spanish themed ephemera. So that one's 1977, and then there's these two. So Elena, you can use those in art journaling or whatever you want to use them for. They're not a very thick paper, they are quite thin. So I just set those in there because it was too big for the envelope or the bag. And then I just have the small Tim Holtz paper clip holding it all together. And I can pop that back in there. And then on this side I have an altered tag. So again, this is from A Tattered Dream, the metal, round metal tags. There's one of the small 4-inch doilies behind her, and I've just layered some trims to the bottom and just a bit of stamping on the top, a bit of music sheet behind there, and just some fibres on the top there. So that all goes on there. Some more of the Tim Holtz paper and some more trim from my stash. This is just some of the baking paper I used when I was doing my coffee staining. And then we have one of the weekly time cards in here from A Tattered Dream. And just some layering there. Another bulb pin from the store, and just one of those tokens from Tim Holtz that says Inspire. And that just sits in that little pocket there. And then I've just stuck that, done some decoupaging on some music sheet there on the back of the baking paper. This is a print off from Dreams Etc., as is the Jane Austen prints here. So Elena, everybody knows I love Jane Austen, so I stuck a little bit of her in here for you just to remind you of me. We have a tip in here, just some layering and some buttons on the top, and another dangle charm there. And we have a pocket on this side, and inside the pocket sits this little darling. Isn't she gorgeous? Now this one here is, let me find my notes. These I believe are the, ooh, I didn't write them down, so this is an extra one. Sorry, I'll have to put that down the bottom in the link. But they're an envelope, a craft envelope from A Tattered Dream. Just some stamping. The ticket is also from A Tattered Dream as well. And inside it is some more of the Spanish ephemera. So that's a receipt or an invoice there. And that's from 1983. And then there's this one here. That's not written on, so you can do what you like with all of that, Elena. Sits in there and just pops back into the pocket. The other side of the Jane Austen paper from Dreams Etc. And again, just the doily with the decoupaging, some more journaling space. And then we have a flip out here. And then in this little pocket here, which is an idea I got from Suzy from the Shabby Soul. Now these ones here are the craft envelopes, I think. No, they're the small manila window envelopes, these ones here. So I've just done some layering on the bottom. That's some sari silk. the pom-pom trim is A Tattered Dream. Bit of stamping there. And this little darling, I have actually stuck her in there, so you can't actually take her out. She's stuck in the window. But inside I've got some more of the Spanish ephemera. I don't, because I don't speak it, I don't even know what it is. But I just thought it was adorable. And there's that one there. So let's try and get all this back in now. And then she sits back in there. And that's the center of the signature, and on the ends I've put some little baubles on the end. You might like to use these as bookmarks, Elena, because I didn't cut them down, so they're long enough to use as bookmarks if you wanted to. It's just some stamping on some calico there. Some more journaling space. And some more journaling space for the staining there. Decoupaging on the French doily. Another pocket. And in here we have some ephemera. Now Eleanor's been renovating her house and she's just finished her kitchen. So I came across this piece of ephemera, high grade stoves. And this is from 1895. So I thought that was a little bit appropriate, and just an altered tag there with some decoupaging. And this tag here is also from A Tattered Dream. Okay. There's so many wonderful things for you to play around with in Denise's shop. And again, the luscious pink yarn. I love this stuff. It's so beautiful. It's soft. Okay, a tuck spot here. The guest check is from A Tattered Dream as well, and I've just altered it by putting the little girl on there and just some coffee stained daisy trim, and you can journal on the back. The other side of the Jane Austen paper there, and some more baking paper here, so this is the other side. I've just decoupaged again on there and put the pom-pom trim from A Tattered Dream. And then on the other side we have, I think these are the merchandise tags. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I couldn't find them on the shop. And the round metal thing here is from A Tattered Dream as well. And this is a Angie sort of inspiration here, with just putting some of the lace up the side. The lace is from Bears and Lace. The trim. Yep, this one is A Tattered Dream as well. That fine, pretty trim. And we have a tuck spot here, or your belly band, which is just some music sheet and just some laid with some trims and rickrack that's in my stash. This, I think from memory, is one of the layaway tags. I showed this on the Instagram. It's just layered with a crochet doily, some buttons. The lace is from Bears and Lace as well. And isn't she just gorgeous? She's one of my favourite images. And I just stamped on some calico. That's music sheet behind her. And then just a bit of stamping, and it's coffee stained as well. So, whoops, no. Bit of a tight fit because of the layering, but she sits in there. I thought I'd keep her eyes. It's those eyes, they're so sweet. Some of the more Tim Holtz paper here. And just on this clip here, these are the white craft envelopes. These are just adorable. I have loved playing around with these. That's just some sewing paper behind it, another print, and just a bit of a doily trim that I've stained there. And then inside, I mean, Suzy from the Shabby Soul, she decorates these things just gorgeously. Yep, that was pretty much it, and I think it's some more of the Spanish ephemera in there. So that clips onto there, and that's just the other side of the white paper sack, and I just stamped on some calico here. That's just some of the Tim Holtz washi tape. And it clips there, and then on this side there's just some ephemera, and that's from 1881. What have we got inside the pocket? Ephemera from Tsunami Rose. Tuck spot here. These little ones are from Freeze Art on Etsy, and it's attached with the Tim Holtz mini paper clip and some more of the Spanish ephemera on there. This is going to be a long video, so I'm very sorry everyone. I hope you're able to stick with me. I didn't really want to make a two-parter. We're already half hour in. Okay, and we're coming to the end. Another pocket. The rusted garment pin is from A Tattered Dream, and it's just got layering of laces and trims on there, and some ephemera pieces on here. This one is from 1886, and I just popped some of the scraps of paper I had around together and sewed across the top and laid up with some laces, and I just stamped on every couple of pieces just to make some notes. So that sits in there. And another dangle, I'll have to pick it up. Another dangle there, and just another tab there with the crochet trim and the button, and the Tim Holtz paper, the music sheet paper, another pocket from a doily that was cut up, and it has another layaway tag that's been altered just with some sari silk and decoupage down the bottom. And then we have some more vintage ephemera from 1835. This one is, and you can write on the back, and I just stamped it with the vintage vines on there. The other side of the vellum and the crocheted doily. The paper doily, sorry, the French one from A Tattered Dream, and just some layering here with a piece of scrap music sheet paper